The scapegoat role can be created and also maintained through abandonment. And emotional abandonment is so painful and so confusing because it's usually done right to your face and it feels so bad, but we don't really understand what it is that's happening. And that is very shameful and very painful. Hi, my name is Olivia, and I'm passionate about helping you understand what relational trauma is so that you can heal and grow and move on from it. So today, everything is coming from my book, A Scapegoat No More Forever, and you can find it on Amazon. I will put a QR code on the screen and put the link in the description, and also a link to the course that's available on my website is in the description as well. So when you have abandonment, it can be physical or emotional. And when it's emotional, like I said, it's sort of like, it's almost like hiding in plain sight. It's done right to your face, and it's hard to understand that that is what this is. So what does emotional abandonment look like? It could look like someone you're trying to love. They will look right through you. Instead of seeing you, you can tell that, they're just like not seeing you. They're just acting like you're not there, treating you like you're invisible. That is a form of emotional abandonment. And that feels dehumanizing. It makes you feel so insignificant that you're not even anyone to be seen. Like you're so nothing that you may as well have not said a word. You may as well have never walked in that room. You may as well not even exist because you just, are not important, the tiniest smidge of importance in this person's life. You're basically nothing to them. That's how it becomes dehumanizing. And that is part of a form of emotional abandonment. It could also be silence. So you could ask a question, get nothing back. You could make a statement, no response. So it's not only like they don't see you, but it's also like they don't hear you. Which is so confusing because you're like, okay, so I guess we don't talk, are we, is that a yes? Is that a no? Like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do because your answer is kind of dependent on what I do next and you're not answering me. So what? It's so confusing. That was also a form of emotional abandonment. And that is so effective in creating and maintaining a scapegoat because being a scapegoat is all about your role. So my role is determined by the tormentor and the way that I'm being treated. So if I'm being treated like I'm no one, then I don't have rights. I don't get to do things. I don't get to want things. I don't get to discuss things. I don't get to feel things. Right? So all of these things that are part of make up a person, I'm not supposed to have access to that. And you're showing me that I don't get to have access to that. So that is how it's just like so destructive to us because, it's dehumanizing. I go into a room, I may as well not be there. I'm asking a question. My questions don't matter. I'm asking you a question, right? I'm trying to do any of these things that are regular relational things. And you have emotionally just cut me off completely. It could also be sort of like this physical affection. So if I'm like trying to hug you, you just don't hug back. You're just like dead fish, right? Nothing. There's no, it's so that anything I'm doing, it's like it's not happening. You're treating me like it's not happening. I think that there was this video years ago, and it might have been on America's Funniest Home Videos or something. I'm like having this weird memory, but the whole family, you might have seen this video. The whole family pretended like they couldn't see this little kid. I think it was a little kid. So they were like, hey, have you seen whatever the kid's name was, right? And they were like, no. And the kid was sitting in the room. And they kept going around and the kid was like, what? I'm here. I'm right here. And I can't remember if he ate something or they said, if you do this, no one's going to be able to see you. And so they were like playing this trick and convincing the kid that it happened and no one could see him. And he was like, I'm here. And in the end, it was really sad. Like the kid was hysterical, screaming, begging people to see the kid. And, that's kind of like what it is to be a scapegoat. You're treated like you're not in the room. No one can see you. Your feelings don't matter. That's kind of maybe like a poor illustration, but for some reason that memory just popped in my head of that kid really, really scared that he had like disappeared, you know, but that is what it's like to be a scapegoat. It's like this disappearing act, and it's done right to your face, whether it's at work, or it could be a place like your church, your soccer team, your neighborhood, within your family system, within your friend circle, right? You're saying things and people just are acting like you're not even talking. So all of those things are super painful when it comes to abandonment. If you imagine growing up like that, right, that is so effective in creating a scapegoat. It's that emotional abandonment. And then it's almost like you become afraid. So, you know, part of the cat and mouse game that you play when you're a scapegoat, maybe sometimes for nuggets, brief nuggets, you are seen, you are heard. But then, you know, if they're having a bad day or they feel like they're not getting enough control over you, you always have the threat that could go away. That threat of the emotional abandonment is still there, and that seed is still planted. But a lot of times you're just emotionally neglected, emotionally abandoned. And so treated like you're see-through, like you're not existing. And again, very dehumanizing and very, very painful. So you can find all of this and more, again, from A Scapegoat No More Forever. The link is in the description. I'll put more videos on the screen so you can go understand more of how not to be a scapegoat, and also other relational trauma topics as well. So take good care, and I'll see you in the next one.